What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We're starting things off today with the Azimonde. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. That. I mean, I know what they are, I just don't know how it's actually supposed to be pronounced sometimes. So this is actually a cool ship. It kind of works on that industrial kind of look, like we've mentioned many times before on the Inspiration series, that kind of what I call clutter detail, and the more realistic industrial look as opposed to the sleek alien sci-fi kind of look. The primary purpose of the ship is to be a refueling ship, I believe, according to the description, which was self-aware in admitting that it's very simple and light on the description, more of statistics about the ship than actually all of its various different uses. But predominantly it's a refuel. I think it can connect up to like 6 or something simultaneously. I don't remember. It's all that kind of stuff's in the description for the workshop file, but I really like the look of it. Like I said before many times, I always give credit to the people that design their ships with the industrial cluttered detail look, mainly just because I feel like it's harder to do. It's one of those, you have to be a lot more precise with your randomness, if that makes sense. Whereas sleek, it's like, keep it aerodynamic and symmetrical and weird looking and you're fine. One thing to note, I just noticed this and it reminded me, the description did mention, I believe, that it has a fairly compact interior and the main flight seat is actually outside. So kind of bear that in mind depending on what you were looking at using this ship for. I don't know how much of the exterior is traversable without like a jetpack either. It's kind of one of those, because I'm trying to show off the ship, you tend to use it in a different way than you would use it in actual gameplay. You know, like you may not actually come down here and look at all this stuff, but I'm like, I want to look at all this stuff. It does look like it has hydrogen and ion thrusters. I don't recall if the description mentioned anything about it being able to traverse atmospheres, however, so kind of bear that in mind. Looks like we have an access platform here, no doors to get in this way, but we can kind of walk around here on the outside. So that's the only thing, is sometimes some builders, and I'm not saying this is the case in this instance, but some builders will build with jetpacks in mind, where there may not be a connecting support area, but you can just fly over there. Some people, like myself, I personally try and make sure that most everything important is accessible without a jetpack, just in the instance that you don't have one. But there's been some cool builds using that idea of using a jetpack. Like there was one featured quite a long time ago, if my memory serves, about like you could use a vertical, there was just a vertical shaft through the middle of the ship, but it allowed it for a more vertical design, which is cool. So I don't know, because there's a couple of different catwalk areas like out there that doesn't actually have anything connecting to it, no walkways that go to a docking pad or anything that I can tell. So I'm not really sure. There's arrows here, there's an exit there. I'm not sure what this arrow is pointing at other than you can go around. Feel free to freshen up. That's a med bay. Okay. Actually, it's compact, but it is actually fairly roomy, if that makes any sense at all. Using the term compact and roomy at the same time. It says exit. Let's see where this goes. To the exterior exit, I suppose. This is also would be a decent way to access these tanks for the thrusters for maintenance, I suppose, too, if you were needing to do that for any reason. Okay, so that's that. Be careful out there. That's the primary airlock. We've got the blast windows there, med bay there. We're still going straight down. Now there's a path going that way, and then there's a path going this way. Let's see where this leads. Cryo chamber. Alright. With its own airlock. That's cool. Alright, so let's go around here. See what goes around this way. Oh, okay, so this is just a conveyor connection point. Or possibly a maintenance point. I'm not really sure. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised because from the outside there didn't really look like there was a lot of places to put an interior. It actually has a decent amount of stuff. I mean, compared to some ships, yeah, it is a compact interior, but it was more expanded than I expected. Alright, so let's see. We don't have any hotbar things. There wasn't really anything special in terms of the, actually, I don't think I managed to go out here either. So there's the jump drive with a platform to walk on, another connection point. Okay. What is this? Is this, oh, a large ion thruster. I was gonna say, that looked like, I was like, I've never really seen that piping model before. Okay, so this is, no, that's not a platform. I was gonna say, this is how you get there. But no, because there's no real platform there. Again, it would be kind of operating on the jetpack assumption, I suppose. But yeah, again, it didn't really have any special conditions or controls or anything, really, because it was predominantly just a fueling ship, but I really like the look of it. It looks really cool. Movement-wise, acceleration works really well. Deceleration's a little slower. I'm actually, for a tanker-type ship, really surprised at the movement. It moves very responsively and very swiftly. Or, not swiftly, smoothly. It's very smooth. It's not a sluggish turning or anything like that. So really cool. Alright, on that note, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, so next up we have the CS5 cruiser ARCUS, I think. Right? UNDF. Okay, close enough. It's in the description as something, or it's in the workshop as something else. The title's a little different. This is actually a really interesting ship to me, both in design and kind of sort of the inspiration behind it, as best I can tell. Now, I haven't, like, researched the topic or anything like that. That was kind of weird. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but, paused for a second because it looked like everything froze for a second. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, this is a little bit weird because as I started looking through the description and things like that, apparently this ship is actually based on a Lego design that was uploaded to a different site where somebody uploaded like the picture of a Lego design they built, and then this was basically modeled after it. But the part that makes it a little odd to me is I don't know if that design was based on anything or from any specific series or anything, or if it was just a design. But it's really cool, and the craziest part to me, I was looking at the workshop file and it said required items, and I started to scroll down. I'm like, okay, what mods did it use? And it was a script for mouse aiming or something like that. It wasn't actually any blocks, which blew my mind. Because the shapes on this ship look so non-vanilla that I assumed there had to have been mods involved. So I figured it was the perfect pick for an inspiration build. Is this a barrel or a hanger or something? This looks like a gravity cannon. This is a gravity cannon, is what this is. Which is really cool. I have mixed feelings about gravity cannons in Space Engineers only because I can hardly ever get them to work right. I blame user error, personally. But the idea of them is awesome. I think it's really cool. But I love this hull design. This, like, kind of squared, kind of angular hull. I think it's great. I think it's really, really cool. And then you got a little mix of some detail work here on the outside, which is also really neat. And again, being vanilla, but then having these cool-looking turret cannons is crazy. It's just nuts to me. I was like, how in the world did somebody pull this off? And this is kind of cool, actually. Again, this is kind of what the Inspiration series was designed for, was to get ideas of how to build stuff. The one thing I'm a little curious about... I can't see the collision boxes, though. I don't know exactly, without looking at the... Okay, there's the box I was looking for, I guess. Oh, it's because this one's set below it, so they had to use that one. Okay. Because I was curious as to why there wasn't this one, both of these using the double catwalk, the two-sided. I was kind of curious about why they didn't use both of them. But I'm thinking it's because since they had to put this one on the bottom block collision area, that they couldn't have it sticking out, so they compromised with the catwalks on the side. Probably. Oh, and there's a little light. A corner light to hold that on. I was wondering how they attached that. That's cool. That's pretty cool. And then that's just standard armor ramps and things at different angles to create the housing connecting to a rotor, which I'm assuming has a connector somewhere. And this blast block area is probably where the rotor's connecting at. Overall. Kind of looks that way. Or... I'm not sure. Not sure what, other than maybe decoration, because it doesn't look like the blast block is actually needed. Oh, it's right here. Okay, you'd need it for right there. I think. That's pretty cool, though. Again, a lot of this stuff I was like, oh yeah, this is neat, that's cool. Wait, it's all vanilla? What? And then I was kind of mind blown type of thing. So I could spend probably a whole episode on just the exterior of this thing. It really did shock me that this wasn't modded. I was very surprised by that revelation. Now what would be shocking even more is how cool this ship is if I manage to find a door relatively easily without having to resort to door timers. This is curious. What's going on here? Okay, there's a passageway. Is this supposed to be a door? Oh, I guess it is. Well, what do you know? We found ourselves a door. Now, this is something I can't say I've seen very often. This is like a trifold airlock, which is really interesting, and I'm kind of wondering why we haven't seen more of this before. This leads to the other side, I'm assuming? Oh, no, it doesn't. This is just a three-way airlock. That's cool. That leads that way, this leads somewhere else, and the other door leads outside. Interesting. So we have a bridge. Again, I'm very surprised that we actually haven't seen more of that, to be honest, because once you have an airlock area, there's really no rule that says you can't have it branch off and go different ways. So that was the bridge. This is a CIC and backup bridge. Kind of like the Enterprise D with its combat tactical bridge, which is always a good idea. It's good to have options. Crew quarters, engine room, and hangar. Let's go. It's a multi-floor. You know what? Let's just start at the bottom. Why don't we do that? Oh, hello. That's a cool... Okay, they merged small block interiors in here. I like this build so far. This is really cool. Observation deck, we'll check that out in a minute. There's the actual cryo chamber, but I'm guessing there's a room for that. Yeah. So we have cryo chambers, med bay, bathroom. That's cool. They almost made this like a... It almost reminds me of a submarine interior. Med bay access. Wow, this is cool. This is really cool. Oh, okay, we're in the galley. So this is the kitchen area. That's awesome. And then we got the bunks. Wow. Man, the detail on this is cool. They even did, what are these? Little interior lights? Yeah, little interior lights to make it look like steps or ladder type things. That's awesome. Excuse me. Crew, tech officers, this guy's TV is not working. We need to fix that stat. Steak and vegetables. Sounds like a plan. Got our all over bases covered. And see, this is the kind of stuff that I never quite wrap my head around how to do myself, personally. Of just, how do you come up with these kinds of designs to go, we need some decoration on that wall. Here we go. What's it do? I don't know. It's decoration. You know. I never could come up with random stuff like that just to... Like, this kind of stuff is how do you decide what goes on the shelves and everything. It's really cool, though. I'm really genuinely impressed by this build so far. It goes further down, apparently. Front hanger. Okay. So we're above the Ooh! Ooh! It's got a little fighter in here, does it? That's kind of cool. I didn't expect it to come with its own ships. Alright, where's this go? Not really seeing a way to get down to the hangar. Oh! The epitome of the push the door when... Is this glass? This is glass. Yeah, I was gonna say, the epitome of the push when you should be pulling of the door. I'm like, why can't I get through here? There's a glass panel there, you knucklehead. Same here. This is just mean. I mean, maybe I'm slightly... I don't know. I'm tired. It's late when I'm recording this. I'm gonna claim exhaustion or something to explain why I'm trying to walk through a glass window. Oh, here's... Okay, so this is gonna come out at the ladder? Or the pathway I saw? Yeah, there it is. So that's where this comes out at. For the pilots. I mean, I guess technically you could go the way I went the first time, but... so that's pretty cool. It's got its own little fighters. At least 3 so far. This does say front hangar. Let's just... Nothing happened. Let's just not talk about that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Something weird happened? I don't know. I didn't see anything. I don't know how to get down here, though, the right way, other than just jumping, which I don't think is the right way. Oh, we could go around the... I'm tired. Let's not talk about it. Let's just move on. Isn't this cool? Isn't this a cool ship? I mean, look at the walls. They're very wally. So I really actually like this design. I don't know if this is supposed to be a fighter, gunship, shuttle, or what, but I really like this design. This is pretty cool. Particularly the wings, the wing pod kind of look. I think that's really neat. I like that idea. Okay, main hangar. And then we have a hangar door on the left and the right. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot in this ship. I do really like the idea of doing an exterior with the large blocks, just so you can kind of cover more ground with the blocks, kind of thing. You can make a bigger ship overall. Did I come from this way? Yeah, we came from this way. But I really like the adding of a small ship grid for the interior for detail, because I really think that's what hurts large ship builds a lot, is their interiors are never very detailed, because the large blocks just don't give you a lot of room to add subtle details and little things. You can only do so much. So by adding the interior block segments for the detail work, it was a great idea. Now it will tax like mid to lower end PCs a bit more, so that's something you probably have to think about if you're planning on actually using the build and not just kind of using it for inspirational building ideas. But overall, it's still a really good idea for adding kind of the lived-in, lifelike kind of ship. So we have another airlock over here to the left and right, so I'm not sure that we came in the right way. But the way we came in does work. I just don't know that it's the right way. Oh, okay. This looks like more of a shuttle airlock, or another capital ship type thing. You got a merge block, a connector, and then you could go into the airlock that way. So that the left and right ones may be more for like shipboarding or docking kind of thing. Observation deck. I love a good observational deck. Mainly because I like glass. So, Jump drive maintenance? Maybe? Not really sure what this is here for, if not. Observational deck bulkhead. Lights. Ooh. Admittedly, like it in the game, would probably terrify me in real life to be standing out on space, on glass, and just hoping that the glass doesn't break. Let's see, what's the bulkhead do? Oh, so it's like a security door. Very nice. Very nice. Push this button in case you're under attack and you don't want the glass to get blown out like I had just mentioned. Alright, now I'm getting a little lost, if I'm being honest, of where we've been and where we're going. I'm stuck. Alright, so if we come up here, we're back. Okay, so that's what goes that way, and then we can come back this way. We'll go back to the pathway. Okay, we hadn't gone this way. No damage blocks found. They use all the... No! No way. This ship is as cool as it already is, and then it adds a spinning reactor. What? Who built this thing? This thing is awesome. I mean, you guys know how much I like spinny stuff. I even in my own survival Let's Play at one point tried to build a ship with a spinning reactor, which went well. I just never actually finished the ship, but the reactor looked cool. So, I'm all about spinning reactors. I think it adds... Doesn't really make any sense in terms of functionality. It doesn't really add much, as far as I can tell. But it looks cool. Oh! What room did I stumble into? What is... Oh, is this the CIC? And the other one was the backup bridge, maybe? Bridge is that way. CIC backup bridge... Maybe this is the CIC and that's the backup bridge, like it's considered one room. Because typically, you know, in terms of sci-fi anyways, a good CIC always has some kind of table where it has hologram stuff, and this looks like a blueprint breakdown or design of the actual ship. So I'm gonna go with that's probably supposed to be the CIC. Okay, now let's head over to the actual bridge and do the last little step, which is take her for a test flight. Oh, and fire the weapons. We gotta fire the weapons. Let's see here. What are we looking at? The thrusters, rocket launchers, front, broadside, right broadside. So that's gonna be your auto fires, I'm assuming. Camera, railgun. I mean, admittedly, gravity cannon, railgun sounds cooler. The SOS beacon, the antenna, hangar doors, connectors, hangar front, hangar right, Gatling turrets, cameras, merge blocks, docking stuff, lights. Okay, so basically we only need to worry about this page right here, essentially. Now let's give her a go. So, turning moves a lot better than I would have expected it to. A lot better. Acceleration is a little bit on more of the slower side, which I would have expected because of the size of the ship. But the rotation and turning is really quick compared to the size of the ship. That's actually really, really cool. Alright, is this the... Oh, good lord! This has missile bays everywhere. Oh, there's turrets on the bottom. How did I miss that? Okay, that's actually a really cool place to put a jump drive, by the by. I might actually have to take a look at that before we wrap this up, this build up. And then, of course, you have your front... broadside one side, broadside the other. But if you're selecting all the weapons, you just fire everything, which is amazing. Alright. Normally that would be the end of the build, but I actually want to take a peek at that jump drive No particular reason other than I thought I saw kind of a decorative frame around it that I thought looked pretty cool. I did. That is really cool, actually. There's a ton of little detail stuff. Oh, we never fired the railgun. I got all excited about the jump drive and the rocket launchers. We never tried to fire the railgun. Now, full disclosure, these gravity cannons don't usually work well for me. So, if it doesn't fire right, or I blow myself up, I'd still blame me. I'm not going to blame the build stuff, because usually it's me doing something wrong. Alright, what's the button we're looking for? 7! Is this going to be the railgun camera? I can't tell where that camera is located. I think it's that right there. I don't know. Let's fire it and find out. So we got all the lights turning on. Maybe? See, this is what I mean. They never work for me. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna push the button again. I see the lights come on, but it's not firing anything, is it? Like I said, I usually do something wrong. So other than that, I cannot say any more about how amazingly excited I am about this build. I really, really like it. So on that note, let's move on to the last one. Alrighty, so last but not least, we have New Mombasa. I believe, I don't see a antenna around here, but I believe it was City Sector 2B is also the part of the title. And at first I was like, wow, this is a cool looking city thing, this is awesome kind of thing. And then I was like, I looked at the title part and I was like, New Mombasa, why does that sound so familiar kind of thing? And then I realized that New Mombasa was part of the Halo series, and I was like, of course, that's why it sounds familiar, because I played Halo, I played a crap ton of Halo, when like Halo 2 and stuff first came out. Now granted, the description actually mentions this being a personal take on New Mombasa, so I don't entirely know. I mean, it's not like I walk around with a memory of one-to-one of what the city looked like, so I'm not really sure. I wouldn't really know what was changed and what wasn't, so, but just for clarity's sake, it is an interpretation of it, I suppose. Oh my gosh, I don't know why, but I feel like I remember this kind of setting, this car or truck jam with the cones in ODST. That seems very familiar to me. I don't know if that's my mind playing tricks or not, but I have to say, this is really cool. Talking about detail work, this is really cool. Now, it does have some mods, but being a world file, I didn't actually take note to every single mod that was in play because it's a world file, so it'll auto-download whatever is needed. A couple of other notes is, even on my system, which is new, except for the GPU, which was what I had from my old system, this is still hitting my frame rate a little bit, so bear that in mind if yours is a mid to low tier rig, that it may have a lot of problems playing this. I'm not really sure, but it also listed that in the description as well. Also to note is the description does label it as a work in progress still. That's funny. I was seeing all these different Halo posters and things on all the LCD screens, and then they used one from Space Engineers. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, man, I feel like this kind of speaks for itself in terms of the detail work. Just the build, like, honestly, buildings like this with all these different little ridges and things like that in it is really, really cool, and I know that had to have been painstaking to build. Like, that, I just don't even know the time that would go into all of this kind of stuff. You know, this is a cool little trick too. I was wondering how they did the roads, and it's using corner lights to be the reflectors in the roads. That's a really cool idea. Especially when you consider that, like, interior would go in the center of the block and the corner lights go to the edge. So, you know, a couple blocks over and you can do like this where they're doubling up on the corner lights. That's a really neat idea. It really is. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how many of these buildings actually have interiors. A lot of these big builds that are like city-type builds, they don't actually have interiors. Because, I mean, just look at the city. You know how long this would probably take to build. You know, who's going to want to go through and add interiors to everything? Not to mention it would make the performance of the build run like crap if every one of these buildings had a ton of blocks inside them as well. But yeah, really, really cool. Really, really neat. I mean, honestly, if your rig can handle it, I highly encourage you to download it and check it out for yourself, because there's a lot of little things, like this. Look at this. Oh, that moves. Was me. I didn't bump it. I guess, I can't tell if these are supposed to be like water fountains or like a trash can or something like that, or maybe a mailbox. Or recycle and trash. I'm not really sure. But it's a cool little structure. It's like a thruster with a couple of different angle blocks and some other stuff to it. It's really neat. It's pretty cool. The vending machine is a really neat idea, actually. I mean, obviously this is using an LCD texture for the face, but still, it's got like a button here, the receptacle area there, a little corner light up top. You know, it's really neat. And then on top of it, to have that kind of detail, and then you have these massive skyscraper-type buildings. It's really crazy. Oh, this actually does have an interior. Wow. I'm not sure what this building's for, but it has a common area kind of thing. Oh, and there's one over here. Holy crap. I take back what I said about the interiors. I guess some of these actually do have interiors. Wow. Holy crap. And they're this detailed to even have a spinning kiosk. Okay, that's awesome. That is freaking awesome. I love this. This is so cool. This kind of stuff is why I started the Inspiration series to begin with. Because I look at this stuff and I go, who the heck came up with this? And where did they come up with it from? I would have never thought to do something like this for a spinning kiosk sign. That's so cool. Oh, what is that? Oh, no, that's slick. That is a text panel? Okay, now that probably is a mod, actually, because it's coming up as a corner LCD flat bottom, so that's got to be a mod. But still, using a very small LCD screen and then putting a texture for a button panel is a really cool idea. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I don't know what happened here. Not my fault. Is it my fault? Did I bump something? Or is this supposed to be like blocks laying around like they're in a warehouse or something? I feel like it's supposed to be laying around. And if it's not supposed to be laying around, I'm going to say it's supposed to be laying around just so that I can get myself out of hot water for breaking things. But yeah, this is really cool. I'm actually really surprised by the interiors and stuff having that kind of detail when there's already this much of kind of detail work to the actual exterior building structures. And just this kind of stuff, having all these different computer things and stuff, and the bus stops and everything. What sign? I didn't see a sign. Did you guys see a sign? I didn't see a sign. I didn't see a very comical, funny sign at all. No. Don't know what you're talking about. Also, these vehicles, I think, are functional. I don't want to misquote. So, I think they're actually functional. Maybe. Oh, crap. They're actually functional. What happens if I turn the dampeners on? Does that help me or hurt me? Oh, it does nothing. Okay. That's good. I can't say I've ever really messed around too much with ground vehicles in Space Engineers, so other than certain racing courses and things like that. Let's see if I can stay in my lane. Spoiler alert, not gonna happen. Oh, I didn't even notice that bus! How did I miss that bus? I walked right past it. Don't mind me. I'm a professional. I'm a professional showcaser person. I don't know what the actual term. And by the way, I'm gonna end on this. I think I'm gonna bring this up. I have had recently slightly increased amount of comments and stuff on the series talking about you should go through and look through things more. For those of you that don't already know, I've done stuff like that before where I've previewed builds and then recorded stuff like that, but most majority of my channel viewers tend to prefer the more haphazard fiddle farting around and finding out things as I go. And stuff like that, so I kind of wanted to bring that up because it was just one of those, like, I mentioned missing things and I'm a professional, all this kind of stuff. And I've been getting more and more of that where it's kind of like, you know, it would be better if you look through them. I do it on purpose. It's not like a, I don't know any better. In fact, I'm actually thinking about to do a test again. I did it a while back now. I was gonna say a few weeks ago, but no, it's been months probably. I may actually do an episode of actually doing a lot of like that's what I started to say. I said showcaser. That's what I was gonna say. A lot of people bring up that I review stuff, and my reviews would be, I'm not reviewing anything. I'm showcasing. I am showing off things I think are cool. That's it. I'm not reviewing anything, I'm not scoring anything, I'm not saying what's good, bad, or whatever. I'm showing off builds that I think use really cool techniques for how they build stuff to make things look better than they would typically look if you just built stuff out of square blocks. That's basically the goal. If you guys have ever seen Corellis's inspiration series on his channel where he goes through his server and shows off cool things people have built, basically the same idea. I got the idea from watching his channel, was like, hey, I wonder if we could do that with like Space Engineers and go through different builds. So, reviewing, no, I don't review anything. So, as far as saying I could review them better, I don't review them in the first place. So, just wanted to get that off my chest. It's been kind of nagging at me a little bit. And I am considering just to kind of retest the waters, if you will, that maybe I'll put out another episode in a couple of weeks or something, maybe one of the inspiration series. I may actually do some like more attempts at pro editing type techniques and things, and be a bit more polished about it, and then see if everybody's still on board with, no, we like the haphazard slapstick style of just figuring it out and breaking things. I know for me, I have more fun with it that way, but if everybody liked it better the other way now, I wouldn't mind switching. It's kind of just whatever everybody wants to see. But on that note, I've driven around enough. I think you've gotten a pretty good idea of this build. I'm actually very surprised that I've been driving, talking, and not having a straight view and haven't crashed into anything. I'm very proud of myself. Even though I am driving down the middle of the road, but you know, it's a video game, so that's what you're supposed to do. So anyways, we're going to wrap things up here for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. You also may be seeing the new end screens I've been trying to do. I've been trying to make use of those more. I feel like I've been neglecting some of my more editing responsibilities, I guess, if you will, like making use of the way YouTube works now and some of the new features they've added. So I'm starting to try and make use of the end screens and stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about all that kind of stuff, if you like them or whatnot. In the meantime, we're going to wrap things up here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.